Hello, BLrama family. Today we continue to talk about Pit Babe series according to the novel. We're still on the first episode. I will make myself as useful as possible to you. You don't have to say it, Babe said quietly. The slender hand that was squeezing Charlie's chin brought his face down to look directly into Babe's eyes before speaking. I'll give you the address. Come see me tonight at 10 p.m. and I'll tell you if you've been useful in the end. Do you understand? I understand. Charlie understood what his senior said, but didn't quite understand what was about to happen. He had no idea how Babe was going to test him, but he thought if this person spoke up himself after all, he had a chance to get what he wanted. Therefore, he should seize this opportunity. Good. That means, if I do well tonight, you are going to let me join the team? Charlie's innocent question made Babe unable to help his laugh. He knew that this kid didn't have any hidden motive in that question. But people like him who were not so pure in mind found this a rather funny statement. Don't think too far ahead, Babe laughed, patting the boy's cheek lightly. This is just an interview. Interview? There might be a practical exam. Oh, yes. But you have to do well. Yes, I will do my best. It was in Babe's hands anyway, and Charlie just had to do his best. Charlie sat frozen, unable to act properly. He had just brought himself to a completely unfamiliar place like this luxurious condo room. Meanwhile, the owner of the room didn't seem interested in him at all when he called Babe at 10 p.m. to tell him he had arrived. Babe came down to pick him up to the room, and after that disappeared into the bathroom, leaving him sitting tensely on the bed with what could be described as shortness of breath. Do you want to take a shower? The young man was slightly startled when the person who had disappeared into the bathroom for a long time suddenly walked out in a bathrobe and asked him a question out of nowhere. I've showered from my room. Babe nodded softly as Charlie swallowed nervously while eyeing Babe in the most comfortable state he had ever seen. Nervously while eyeing Babe in the most comfortable state he had ever seen. His hair was a little wet, and the smell of shower cream filled the room. Even the gesture of pouring wine from the senior he respects was very pleasing to the eye. Would you like some wine? The room owner asked, before lifting the wine and taking a small sip. I don't know how to drink. How old are you? Babe asked in surprise, when he found out that the big kid didn't even drink alcohol. 22. Oh, just a young man. The owner of the room chuckled, his hand placing the wine glass on the table in the corner of the room after he finished drinking it. He slowly walked towards Charlie and sat on the bed. Finally, the tall, slender body with a scent floating around it came to a stop in front of him. Do you know why I called here? What do you know what I want to do? Charlie's breath hitched as soon as he heard that. Even though he was waiting for Babe to say it, hearing those words he got the hint, and he couldn't help but feel excited. I know. Know what? We're going to have sex, right? Babe smiled with satisfaction. At least this idiot wasn't so naive that he didn't know what he was doing. This made things a lot easier because if he still had to explain everything in detail, he might completely lose his temper. Yes, Babe replied quietly. If you do well, I'll lend you my car and help you get on the team. But if you suck, I will chase you back. Then you must find your way. This is the deal, and I am not forcing you. If you do not want it, get up and leave now. I'll call someone else. The tall figure blinked nervously. Of course, before coming here, he had already prepared himself. But when we met him, he was still so excited that he didn't act right. Charlie never thought he'd have the chance to do something like this with the person he'd always looked up to from afar, so sitting on Babe's bed like this was something he never imagined. Do you know how to do it? Babe asked again when Charlie looked at him in the face. Answer quickly. I don't have free time to wait for you all night. I may not be very skilled. Good or not, this is not something you have to think about. I'll be the one to decide. Babe's fierce gaze made Charlie want to discard every thought that was floating in his head and do something based on his instincts for once. The question is, Will you do it or not? He really should stop thinking too much. Answer me. I'll do it. Seconds after receiving the answer, Babe's hand immediately moved to pull off the waist tie of his bathrobe. That action caused the smooth, clear honey skin beneath the cloth to be revealed to Charlie's eyes. The young man was stunned by what he saw. He never thought in his life he would see this person's naked body. Then do it. That's all Babe said, before moving closer to the person sitting on the bed without any guidance or ordering him to do anything. He just stood still and waited to see how Charlie would start. Because from the looks of it, he was pretty sure the young man didn't have much experience with such things, which was usually not a thing for him to go for inexperienced people. But he did not know why he chose to bring Charlie to his room tonight. Maybe it was some kind of instinct that he didn't quite understand, but no matter what, he hoped his instincts wouldn't let him down this time. Charlie, who was nervous, took a deep breath before raising his hand to touch Babe's stomach for the first time. The large palm gently caressed, as if getting to know the senior racer's body temperature. But as soon as he raised his head and made eye contact with Babe, he felt the touch of his palm was still too little compared to what Babe wanted. The sound of Babe's heavy breaths made Charlie feel he was on the right track. As soon as he stuck out his tongue, he licked the top of Babe's chest, and the senior immediately raised his hand, placing it on Charlie's head. The more he absorbed it, the more the pounding force on his hair became even stronger as well. If you're this hungry, why don't you go home and suck breast elsewhere? Babe said, after the stupid kid kept sucking his nipple a little clumsily. Of course, he liked it, and it seemed Charlie did too. But if he had to stand and suck it all night like this, wasn't that a bit too much? Sorry. Charlie apologized after being scolded a bit. The older boy's face did not look upset. I'm not very good at it, Charlie said again. If you don't know what to do, just follow my orders. I'll teach you. Babe never thought that he would have to teach an inexperienced child to do something like this. Now he was beginning to ponder whether it was right or wrong in choosing this kid. Just do your best. Good or bad, I'll tell you.